we're going to go live. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Weiner Wellness Center Virtual Summit. This is going to be an incredible lecture. Jeff Niznik is going to talk about allergy reversal, and he actually is going to be doing a live demonstration with his lovely wife, Nancy. So Jeff is a practitioner at the Weiner Wellness Center. He is an applied kinesiologist, and he's going to be utilizing some energy techniques today to do this. So Jeff, I'm going to let you pull up your PowerPoint and take over the lecture. Thank you for being here, and thank you everyone for attending.
Okay, let me pull this up here. So I want to go to share screen and pull that up. And where's slideshow? Here it is. From the beginning. Okay, we're good to go. All right, folks, so I'm Jeffrey Niznik. I'm a nutritional consultant at the Weiner Wellness Center. I do muscle testing, energy testing. I'm going to ask your body what's going on with reflexes on the body, see how well energy flows in you. And we want to find where you have any weaknesses. And when we find you have weak reflexes, we test to see which particular nutrients strengthen those weak reflexes. And then I do the same thing with foods. Most people are failing on the first visit when they see them. Most people fail on 40 to 60 foods. They generally have no idea. They're eating things that are probably creating inflammation in their body. You're wasting energy trying to deal with things. Instead of it nutrifying you, your body's fighting it. And it wastes a lot of time, energy, and nutrition doing that. Most likely it's because we're nutrient deficient. When I test people, they're not taking all the nutrients their body needs to function. I find out what these things are. And most people will take these nutrients. They come back 4 weeks later. I test them again. In the initial visit, if they failed on, say, 8 different weak reflexes on the body and they failed on 53 foods, when they come back, usually they don't fail on any weak reflexes and they fail on 4 foods. And so it's just your body needs nutrients to function. That's basically what I do here at the Weiner Wellness Center. But my talk today is on allergy testing, and we're going to do a live allergy reversal treatment. So let's get into that. A little bit about me. I went to Center High School, went to Carnegie Mellon. I worked for engineering firms, but for the past 28 years, I've been helping people heal themselves, with their own body's energies and so forth, and nutrition and so forth. That's been my passion. That's what I do. I'm on the radio at these different times, but I don't want to spend much time on this. And it's broadcast on these different stations. If you want to know what it is, pause the screen when you watch the video here. And FDA disclaimer, folks, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't treat, I don't cure, I don't prevent any medical disease or condition. And this presentation and these statements, they're for informational purposes only. And they're not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. And should you have any medical condition, you're advised to see a licensed healthcare practitioner. And good luck with that. So, body meridians, this is what I do. Energy flows in our body in all these different distinct lines. And you can access points along these lines and see how well the voltage or energy is flowing. And we create voltage. If you just tap the back of your hand, that sensation you're experiencing is your brain is sensing the electrical impulse that's being created, being sent to your brain. We generate electrical current, and you can ask the body where you have strong current and weak current, and that's basically what I do. All right, so muscle testing. You can use any muscle to muscle test. When people are laying on their back on a massage table, whatever, you can use a leg to test with. Standing up, I use an arm. And by touching different acupressure points, energy centers, chakras, you can discover if there's a weakness in the way energy flows through that particular point or that particular system. Typical muscle testing procedure. First thing you got to make sure a person is testable. There's a polarity test you do to make sure they have good energy flow, and if they are, then you move on. Then you test for immune system challenges. You test to see there are reflexes on the body that may allude to challenges with your immune system. We'll leave it at that. And then you can find out what particular nutrients strengthen those weak reflexes. You test the organs, see how well the voltage and energy is flowing through there. And you test to see what supplements strengthen the weak reflex, and actually how much it needs to take, how much it needs to take. Your body will tell you this. And then test the teeth. All the energy of your body, all the meridian lines, all the flow of energy goes through your mouth, through your teeth, just like your electrical circuit breaker panel in your house. And if you have an infected crown tooth, a mercury-filled tooth, or worst of all, if you have a root canal, you're blocking voltage to 2 organs that each of those teeth are connected to, and you need voltage to make all the reactions occur in your body, and you're hindering your health long-term wise from having these issues. I test the teeth, and then I refer people to biological naturopathic doctors, dentists, who can assess this further. Test scars. So underneath your skin is your fascia, the covering to your muscles or your fascia. And if you cut that fascia, you're cutting your wiring basically. And if you have a surgical scar, if you have a C-section, they're cutting through your circulation and sex energy meridian. They're on either side of that, it's a kidney meridian. They're cutting that. They're cutting the stomach on either side of that one, the meridian, and then the liver and spleen. And that could be interfering with the functioning of your body. So then what do you do about that? I test to see which particular essential oils strengthen those weak reflexes. And then we can test on foods, animals, household pets. I do a lot of allergy reversals on cats and dogs. I have a jar of cat fur here that I use. And I tell people, if you have a problem with your cat, bring fur in from your cat and we'll add it to this and do an allergy reversal treatment to the cats. I don't make any claims that this will perfectly eliminate your allergies, but it's worked exceedingly well many times. Okay, and then I have all these extra kits. I have tons and tons of kits. I don't know if you can see these white kits over here and all these kits back there. They're red ones, the blue ones, and kits like this. This is an inflammation response. And these things have different vials in them that are different energies related to inflammatory factors in the body. You can see if you have an issue with this, and then we can test your body to ask your body what it wants to do with it. Heavy metal testing kit, emotions testing kit. I do a lot of allergy reversals with emotions as well. So once we have find out what issues you have, we can possibly do allergy elimination treatments for these. And again, quite often they work, but I can't make any guarantees on that. And then we'll write out a detailed game plan for you to follow in the future. That's basically what happens when you come to see me. I'll spend an hour with you and we'll really delve into your body, and your body will give us answers. I won't tell you what's going on. Your body will tell the both of us what's going on when you do this type of testing. And then after we do all this and you take a nutrition plan, you stay away from foods you have an issue with, come back in 2 to 4 weeks, I test again, and usually all those weaknesses we've seen earlier are gone, for the most part. You test to see which previously weak reflexes are now strong, and if you should reduce or eliminate some of the supplements. We test all of these things. And again, once we do all this, we may do an allergy reversal treatment at that time. And again, you'll leave here with a written game plan on what to do and what to follow. Here's body meridians again. Okay. Allergy elimination treatment. Now, this is a method of stimulating acupressure points running up and down the spine while you hold in a jar. Let's say, for instance, I'm doing allergy reversal on cats. You hold the jar, I stimulate all these points from up and down your spine while you breathe 4 different ways. And afterwards, I test you initially. You're super weak in response to it. I test you afterwards, super strong response to it. And then you got to hold on to this for at least 30 minutes. Will allow your body to reset and energetically balance somehow. How that exactly works, I don't know, but this is the procedure and it seems to really work. So energy and frequency, how does this actually work? I think this is part of it. So absolute zero. Now this is the lowest temperature that theoretically is possible. That's the temperature at which the motion of particles that constitutes heat would be minimal. And basically, if you have, that is, by the way, almost minus 460 degrees Fahrenheit. Above this temperature, molecules have an electron cloud that's moving around the nucleus. The molecules are emitting an electromagnetic radiant field and it's generating heat. And that creates its own unique frequency of vibration and unique electromagnetic radiant field, because the molecular structure of one thing is different from another, is different from another. So everything has its own frequency of vibration. It has its own unique electromagnetic radiation spectrum coming off of it. And you can ask your body, how do you respond to this? How do you respond to that? And your body will tell you with a strong response or a weak response whether you can deal with this. And that's basically the basis behind this type of testing. So if you have in the nucleus of a molecule, if you see over here, you got protons and neutrons in the nucleus, you have electrons outside the nucleus, and they're spinning around the nucleus at the speed of light, and its frequency, it's vibrating. Every cell of your body is made of molecules. Every cell of your body, every part of your body has its own natural frequency of vibration, your own natural electromagnetic radiant field that you give off. And I've heard it said that if you were to compress this distance between your electron clouds and the nuclei in your body, that we'd feel, someone said we'd feel the size of a thimble, or we'd feel the size of a shot glass. Either or, we're basically a mass of electromagnetic fields is basically what we are. And certain fields amplify us and make us strong. Certain fields make us weak, and you can test this. Okay, energy sensitivity. Your body is completely energy sensitive. You generate electrical current, and electricity flows nearly at the speed of light. Every part of your body is in constant contact with all other parts of your body through this energy field. Everything vibrates and generates its own natural electromagnetic field and its own natural frequency of vibration. Now, the instant you touch anything or you think about anything, your entire body senses the electromagnetic field and frequency of vibration of it, the energy of it. Your body instantly knows whether it's going to be constructively or destructively interfere with you. And you can use this to your advantage and discover if something may be good for you or not, simply by holding it or thinking about it and using a muscle to test it. It's a really, really simple process. Everything is energy. You just use the body. How did this all start? So this guy, Dr. George Goodhart, he was a chiropractor, and he invented taping, and he invented applied kinesiology. That's basically what all this stuff is. The applied kinesiology, contact reflex analysis, nutritional response testing, it's all the same thing. It uses your own energy to test. Now, this Dr. Goodhart attended the University of Detroit and the National College of Chiropractic. After graduating in 1939, he practiced in downtown Detroit with his father, George Goodhart Sr., for over 30 years. So at his office in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, he made observations about muscle function and health, and he introduced this applied kinesiology. Now, the International College of Applied Kinesiology was founded in 1975 to provide instruction on Dr. Goodhart's research to interested healthcare professionals. So this isn't some fly-by-night thing. There's a whole college dedicated to this whole process. Dr. Goodhart served as the chairman of the research committee on the International College of Applied Kinesiology for 32 years. He authored many works on applied kinesiology, and he lectured on the topic frequently. This Dr. Goodhart and his mentor, Dr. Johnson, taught the method of testing and pressuring reflex points in the mouth. There's all these energy points in your mouth. And you can stimulate those to stimulate energy flow in the body. And they actually helped a lot of people's bodies heal by doing this. So Dr. Versatile comes along, and here's one of his quotes. He says, when you have heartaches and broken hearts and you're not happy in your brain or your heart, you experience that in your bones and in your organs. And pretty soon your body becomes disabled and old and sick and broken down. We're mind, body, and soul. And not only do we physically need things, but emotionally, we need that balance as well. Dr. Versatile was initially taught by Dr. George Goodhart and this Dr. Johnson, and he used that as the initial basis for his newly formed contact reflex analysis. So Dr. Versatile continued to find correlations between the structures, nutritional chemistry, and reflexes on the body. In this next phase of discovery, the patient's symptoms, reflex testing, medical test results, adjustments, nutritional treatments, and final results, these are all documented. Medical tests, including endocardiograph, blood, urine, and x-rays, were done at various intervals over a period of time. And it was with the combined efforts and the expertise of these men, Dr. Versatile, Dr. Peter Northaus, Harry Eidner, Dr. Ed Hartman, and this Walid Karachi, he's a hematologist, that all these tests were performed and compiled. And these men were invaluable in the research and development of applied clinical nutrition and contact reflex analysis. This team worked diligently to collect enormous amounts of data, compile, organize, analyze, and synthesize all this into a simple, accurate method that doctors can use in their daily practice. These records went to Palmer College of Chiropractic for further study, and this is what was taught to me and Dr. Morgani, who initially did this for me here. This is where I initially learned this contact reflex analysis. And Dr. Versatile used to tour the nation teaching this. One of his instructors was Dr. Freddie Yulin, and Dr. Yulin teaches nutrition response testing. He's continued this on, and many, many people are doing this across the world, actually. So along comes Dr. Devi Namboodirpad. She was a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, a registered nurse, and she also had her PhD in physics. And she and her son had multiple food and environmental sensitivities and allergies. And through kinesiology testing, through this muscle testing, she knew which foods and what environmental substances she had to avoid. One day she ate these carrots, and carrots were on her good list. She knew through muscle testing what foods were good for her and what ones to stay away from. She ate these carrots, but they actually came from a different supplier, and she started to pass out. They went and got acupuncture needles in her. She laid down to put the needles in her to stimulate the adrenal meridian, but they didn't get them in time. She actually passed out, and so they just let her sleep it off because this happened before. And when she woke up, she was mortified at first because this bag of carrots was on her chest, and she was worried that she would go into an anaphylactic shock. You know, there were times where she would eat something and be in bed for 3 days. She's just so fatigued or whatever. But when she woke up from this, from having these acupuncture needles in her, she didn't have a negative reaction to the carrots anymore. She's like, aha, if you stimulate points on the body, meridian lines on the body, while you hold the thing you're allergic to, you're protected in a glass jar or something like this, so you're not in direct contact with it. The energy field of it is still coming off of it. And stimulate points on the body, she was reversing negative responses to all sorts of foods and cats and dogs and lions and tigers and bears, oh my. So she started teaching this in 1984 to people across the world. She wrote a book called Say Goodbye to Illness that details a lot of this stuff. And she was the one that taught Dr. Weiner and Dr. Carey about this. Oh, so yeah, here we go. I guess I wrote all that stuff out. And so let's just move on. Along the way, one of the people she taught was Dr. Ellen Cutler. And Dr. Ellen Cutler added the breathing technique to the whole process. Dr. Weiner, if he did an allergy reversal treatment for you, he didn't do the breathing technique, and you had to avoid whatever he treated you for 25 hours. Say, for instance, you're allergic to your own cat, and he wanted you to go sleep somewhere else that night so you're not exposed to the cat for 25 hours. And Dr. Debbie used to have people wash their own clothes, wash a different set of clothes, change their clothes in the office, take their possibly cat fur contaminated clothes off and put those in a plastic bag to stay away from it. And she would do a reversal on cats for you, and then you had to go home to some other house that didn't have cats in it for a day. But Dr. Ellen Cutler, when she added this breathing technique to that eliminated all that. You could be exposed to cats right away, and it doesn't negate what she just did. So Dr. Carey, he's a medical doctor practicing in Greenville. At his business, Ear, Nose, Throat, and Allergy Associates, he gave people allergy shots, which could be high in aluminum, for over 30 years. And that whole system has limited success. He learned Dr. Debbie Nambrudipad's allergy elimination technique system. It was so wildly successful that he got so busy that he had to open a second office in Portersville. And he was instrumental in convincing Dr. Debbie to come to Western PA to teach her methods. And Dr. Weiner was in that first class. And, thousands of people have benefited from that ever since, including myself and the people in my sphere of influence. Those two guys, Dr. Carey did a reversal on me first, and then I went to Dr. Weiner and had allergy reversals done on myself as well. There's a picture of Dr. Ellen Cutler and Dr. Debbie Nambudipad. Dr. Ellen Cutler was called the Enzyme Empress. She was taught by Dr. Debbie, and she's the one that incorporated the breathing techniques in the allergy reversals. Now, who would profit from discrediting this? Of course, the medical industry doesn't want people to know about this. The Rockefeller, watch this video. If you go to YouTube, look up Rockefeller, the chemical industry, and the FDA. National News TV, check that out. Okay, so here's, when I was researching this a while back, I came across this, and this is how ridiculously insane the whole medical establishment is at squelching, information like this. Dr. Weiner helped thousands of people with this, and I probably helped hundreds of people doing this as well. So in a critical appraisal of Dr. Nambrudipad's techniques, this Stephen Barrett of Quackwatch writes, here we go. NAET clashes with the concepts of anatomy, physiology, pathology, physics, and allergy accepted by the scientific community. The story of its, quote, discovery is highly implausible. Its core diagnostic approach, muscle testing for allergies, is senseless and is virtually certain to diagnose non-existent problems. Its recommendations for dietary restrictions based on non-existent food allergies are likely to place the patient at great risk for nutrient deficiency, and in the case of children, at risk for social problems and the development of eating disorders. This is the nonsense that's on the internet. But these things, people will read this and they're like, oh, I'm not doing that. And yeah, Dr. Weiner's helped thousands of people doing this. Okay, so let me tell you Bink's story. This is my brother's dog, Binks. This is, let's get into Binks's. So I'm saving Binks's life. My brother Ken's dog, Binks, was dying. He was 6 years old, and for 4 months had taken critically ill. Ken took him to 4 different vets. No one could find out what was wrong with him. One after another. He was getting weaker and weaker and weaker. He got to the point where Ken had to carry him outside to do his business. He wasn't eating, and he was, close to death. My brother called me. He was crying. He was real upset. He was in Cadiz, Kentucky, and I was in Amherst, PA. And I remotely tested him. I asked to connect spiritually to his dog, and I tested him remotely. And I found a number of different supplements he needed. I thought he had an issue with his heart. And Ken said, yeah. One doctor said he may have an issue with his heart. They couldn't find out what was wrong with him. He was eating, I believe, raw chicken that was giving him bacterial infections in his heart. This is all through muscle testing. I was asking these questions. And I don't know if it was right or not, but this is what I found. And then the supplements that I found he tested for, I gathered them up, and I gathered a whole bunch of other supplements. And Ken immediately changed his diet. And then I drove to Cadiz, Kentucky. So when I got there, I tested Binks, and he tested strongly for all the supplements that I remotely tested him on. And then I brought many other supplements with me that he didn't test well with. I tested Binks on those, and Binks did not test well on those either. 3 days later, after doing this, Binks was like back to normal. It was miraculous. In 4 months, he was going down, 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 and they couldn't find out what was wrong with him. And through remote testing, I was able to do this. So when you muscle test people, you can directly muscle test people, and this is also going to happen remotely as well. Nancy's mango story.
Do you want to do the test now so they see in a half hour the end of it?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah. So Nancy had a problem with mangoes.
Yep.
We chopped up some mangoes, put them in a jar. I did an allergy reversal treatment for mangoes, and her swollen lips and numb lips disappeared.
And hives too.
And hives too.
And at the beginning, it was only if I ate an entire mango. And it got progressively worse over time to the point where in a grocery store, I couldn't even touch the mango, the sticky liquid that comes out of it. If I touched that, I would get really itchy everywhere. And it was terrible because I loved mangoes. Of course I love mangoes, but I was so allergic to them. And you did one treatment and I was fine. And I've been eating mangoes like crazy. My kids know if there's anything, they have a mango flavor, a mango daiquiri or mango anything, they know I'm going to go for that because it kind of still feels like the prohibited fruit, that I'm not allowed to eat, but I still am eating it, but I'm perfectly fine. So
okay. So then I did a couple came to me. The husband was sneezing and sniffling all the time for about 2 years. This was going on. I said, do you have any dogs or cats at home? She says, yeah, we have a dog at home. How long have you had the dog? About 2 years. I said, bring in the dog fur. And I did an allergy reversal treatment I tested him on it. Of course, he failed on it. And I did a reversal on it, and he didn't have the sinus issues anymore. A family brought their children to me. 2 kids had asthma. And after 3 or 4 allergy reversal treatments on them, they didn't have any symptoms of asthma anymore. Now, I don't treat this. I'm just going to stimulate your body while you hold butter or you hold, vials of grass or something. Well, and that's all it is. And you stimulate the body and see how your body responds. Cat story. I have a gentleman who was very, very negative. He was the husband of the father of those kids. And his wife kept beating his ear to come in and get treated. And he's like, it's nonsense, blah, blah, blah. She's like, our kids don't have asthma anymore. So finally he came in because when he was at home, he was sneezing and sniffling all the time. Within 5 minutes of getting home, his nose is running. He was allergic to the cat. And when he was working, he was fine. When he was home, he was miserable. And this was going on for years. So he brought in some cat fur and very negative, and I tested him and he failed on it. It's like, you're pushing harder. I'm like, I'm not pushing harder. Anyway, I did the allergy reversal treatment on him and he left. But a couple weeks later, I saw his wife and I said, oh, how's he doing? He goes, you know, he was home for about 2 hours working in his shop, and it dawned on him, you know what? My nose isn't running. My eyes aren't watery. I'm not itchy. He said, that can't be. He went over, got the cat and stuck his face in the cat. And he had no negative response to it. And then a 10-year-old boy was playing in the grass. His face was all swollen from reacting to the grass.
I saw those pictures. It was, oh, that poor
Terrifying
kid.
to imagine being the mom. That's terrifying.
Oh.
And I did an allergy reversal. He failed on, I think, 13 of the 19 grasses in my testing kit. And a week later, he's out playing in the grass. He did a handstand with his head in the grass, and he didn't react to it. So these are just some personal stories. I got a million of other ones, but just want you have an idea that the profoundness of this could be. Okay, so folks, your health challenges don't have to be a life sentence. With proper nutrition, diet, maybe some exercise, proper mental attitude, you can detoxify, you can fix your body, you can reverse many chronic conditions. Come spend an hour with me and let me do my testing with you. All right, it's time to do some testing. So
Yay.
I need to grab a kit. And so come bring your chair closer. So here's an example of one of the testing kits I have, and it has all these different vials in them.
Hey, Jeff.
And yes,
Maybe you can stop the share of the screen
yeah,
so we can
yeah,
get you bigger.
that's a really good idea. That's why we pay you the big bucks there. All right. Okay, so there we go. So let's do some testing with you. So bring your chair over here just a little further. All right, and come a little closer to me. All right, let me see an arm.
Do you wanna-
You know what? Let's back up.
Yeah.
There we
So
go.
people can-
Can you hear me okay, Tracy, over here?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, all right. So resist, again. Put that hand on top, resist, turn it over, resist. Okay. So
I
that's,
tried real hard.
so that's the first thing you do. You test for polarity, make sure a person is testable. The palm of your hand has a positive charge. The back of your hand has a negative charge. There's 7 major energy centers in your body. Turn that down just a hair. 7 major energy centers in your body. And when you touch the back side of your hand to your crown chakra energy center, it's supposed to short circuit you. If you're not short circuited, you're probably just dehydrated. The average person, give them about 85% of people, give them water and they fail. So good energy flow, you're testable. So let's just test these kits here. Where are we? Where's the dairy at? So this whole bottom row over to here is dairy related products. When Nancy...
We're suspecting that maybe I am having a negative reaction to dairy product. I had ice cream, really good ice cream, but I had ice cream and I was so sleepy. I was driving to my friend's house and I was falling asleep. Well, not really falling asleep, but I was struggling while I was driving and I was really scared of that. And I parked in her parking lot at her house and I actually fell asleep in my car. That she came outside and she's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know what happened. And I was just complete fatigue.
So then those are signs of, food sensitivity and so forth. So in the kit here, there's sugars in here and there's milk and dairy products in here. So ice cream, milk, and sugar. Let's see what's what.
Okay.
So touch one of these at a time. Resist. Keep going.
Oh.
Okay, that was milk mix. It's a little vial and it says milk mix on there. She fell off. So we'll set that one aside. Keep going. Resist.
Oh.
Raw milk, pasteurized milk, sour cream,
Oh my gosh.
yogurt. Okay. So the cheeses were okay. The American cheese, Swiss cheese,
Oh.
and 2 different cheese mixes, those were okay. But the milk portions of it weren't so great. So let's test the sugars here.
Okay.
Resist. Brown sugar, white refined, honey, fruit sugars, cane sugars. That's white rice. Okay, you're good. Just for grins, touch this one here and resist.
Oh, what is that?
Wheat.
bread is so good.
So if you're going to eat wheat, folks, buy the imported stuff from Italy. It's not genetically modified, and it has 1/5 of the gluten in it. Okay, so hold all those. So those are all the vials that you failed on. Resist? Super weak.
Yeah.
So this is a vial charged with the energy of blood. Hold that. And should we add this to that mixture to do the allergy reversal? Resist? Put that in there.
What is that?
It's a vial charged with the energy, but it's supposed to help balance the energies of these with the blood in your system as well.
Oh, okay.
So let me see how you respond to this whole group. All right, now it's super weak. So stand for a second. Hang on to that still. Now, have a seat here, put your back to me and face the wall. Okay, that's good. So now what I gotta do is, where's my little mannequin guy? I gotta stimulate these acupuncture meridian points that run up and down the spine while she breathes 4 different ways. So again, let's move your hair over here. Let me see your arm again. Keep that in your left hand while you do this. Don't cross your arms, don't cross your legs. So again, let me see how your body responds to that whole group and resist firmly. Resist. Can't do it.
I tried so hard, it did not work.
Okay, so first one we do is you take a deep breath in and hold it. So deep breath in and hold it. And that's all this is, just finger pressure on these spots. And breathe. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And then breathe. All right, so give a person a second to recover from that, and then that's it. So the second one is to breathe in, blow all your breath out rapidly, and hold it all the way out. I'm using a decent amount of pressure on these spots, but I'm not trying to push her over, but just stimulating these. And breathe. And usually when I do this, it makes me yawn. I'm an empath, and I pick up energies from people, and it makes me yawn. Okay, breathe in, breathe out, hold it out. You don't have to. And breathe. Okay.
Feels great. It's like a massage.
Yeah, and every time I have this done on me, and most people tell me the same thing, they feel really relaxed, really balanced, really peaceful. Okay, the third one is like a rapid panting breath, where it's kind of like you just finished running, where you're just breathe like that and go. And breathe. Yeah, look, you see, I felt something there, and I had to let it go too. Quite often when I do this, I'll either yawn or I'll be letting go of energies too. Okay, do that again. And breathe. Okay. And then the last one's the easy one. Just relax and breathe normally. I usually spend more time doing this last one, just to be very, very thorough. All right, so now keep that in your left hand. So let me see how your body responds to raw milk, pasteurized milk, yogurt, the whole, let me see how you respond to everything in that jar. Super strong. So now we have to stimulate a loop around the body, hitting all these different reflex points. So leave your chair where it is, but put your back against the backrest and keep your shoes off. Try to keep that in your left hand.
Even though he's done this to me before, it's still amazing and surprising when I was trying so hard to hold my arm up and it was not working. And now it is.
Super strong. So we're making a big loop. Don't cross your arms, don't cross your legs. And then after I finish this part, you have to hold that jar for a half of an hour. And all I'm doing is there's small intestine points that run through here, gallbladder points that run through here, large intestine points run through there, small intestine points running over here, large intestine point over there, just hitting different energy meridians on the body while we do this. Let's get your chair back. Good, let me turn that down here. Then you go behind the knee. So we went up basically around the loop, go behind the knee, go on the tibialis area. There's a junction point in here where everything's cross over. Points over here, go around the heel.
It just feels like a massage. I love this.
Beside the big knuckle, side of the little bone over here, corner of the toe, between here, okay, other foot. Same thing, corner of the toe, between there, side of the knuckle, side of the foot here, around the ankle. I just got a vibe on that one too. Junction point, outside, tibialis.
Oh, it's sore. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Behind the knee. And then back to where we started. Okay. Now we mark the time. 9:39, just call it 9:40. So until 10:10, you have to hold on to that. 30 minutes is a minimum. Okay, so now, just get your chair back up a little closer. That's about it. Just to hold it for a half hour. Don't cross your arms. Don't cross your legs, and hopefully, she'll have a much less, negative response to milk or any type of dairy product.
I hope so. I want to eat ice cream once in a while. Once in a while.
So that's it, Tracy. That's our presentation today on allergy testing, allergy reversals, and what it's all about.
That was fabulous as always.
Thank you much.
Sorry, I have to start my video. I'm going to just check on the post and make sure there aren't any questions because that was a lot of information. So you can come in, it looks to me like anytime, it looks as simple as, no, I'm going to say simple, but as easy as a chiropractic visit where you can come in, get adjusted, right, and go back to work. So this isn't a big process. And really it works for all ages. Is that true?
Absolutely. It works on, you can do this actually on pets as well, where you got to have the thing around them for at least a half hour afterwards. Mm-hmm. It's possible. But you can't
tape it to the person.
Yeah,
just put it in your pocket. Well, I know that you did this on one of the people that worked at NF, and they just put whatever the allergen was in their pocket. Now, the other thing is, Jeff, do they have to be isolated away from people while they do that?
So yeah, anything that generates an electromagnetic field, you want to stay away from in that half hour that you're holding this. Like you don't want to pick up other supplements and look at them. You don't want a kid to sit in your lap. You don't want to play on your phone. Stay away from computer. You don't want to be right against a computer screen. So fluorescent lights getting bleached out by the light here. Anything that generates electromagnetic fields, you must stay away from and don't cross. I don't know what it does. It only failed one time when someone crossed, and this gentleman was crossing his legs for quite a while. Yeah.
Almost crossed my legs.
Yeah, and had to repeat it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is something to say about the corpus callosum, which is the center part of your brain that connects right and left brain, and there's a lot of crossing over there and neurotransmitter production. So when you do cross your arms and legs, you're crossing that polarity of the brain. And that's what the whole brain gym concept is about for children that have special needs. They would do a lot of cross body exercises to connect that right and left brain. which seems to be one of the things that is an issue. So it probably has something to do with that. If you notice that it works better if you don't cross, then that's usually what people should follow. People are asking the name of the doctor who initially taught Dr. Weiner this technique.
So Dr. Devi Nambudripad, Nambudripad, Nambudripad.
He could let spelling bee.
Yeah.
So Nancy, you're gonna have to keep us posted on whether you can enjoy ice cream again.
Yes,
Yeah.
and not go into a coma after it. And I felt also, I felt really like an upset stomach.
Mhm.
I didn't feel right.
Closer.
I didn't feel right.
It's like, stop crossing. Just tie your hands to the chair. Yeah, and I think a lot of people suffer from food sensitivity. It doesn't necessarily have to be allergies, doesn't have to be anaphylaxis, doesn't have to be hives.
Mhm.
But I think we know that if we eat something, it doesn't make us feel good. And, we do want to enjoy those little things once in a while. It doesn't mean all the
Yeah.
time. But what's happening is those once in a whiles are becoming problematic. So, by doing this reversal technique, it's bringing down inflammation in the body systemically, and, can really have a positive effect even on systemic health, not just the food that you want to eat. So this has been very good. Thank you, Jeff, so much. And thank you, Nancy, for volunteering your time.
Hey, I love doing this.
I know, she's like, I get a free massage. And
Exactly.
Oh, good.
Exactly.
So Jeff, you can do this remotely as well for people that, maybe want to contact you and set up an appointment for allergy reversal, correct?
I can test people remotely, but they have to be in person to do a reversal.
Okay. So they're just going to have to come see you at the Weiner Wellness Center. And how do they make an appointment with you?
So call 412-922-9355. Weiner Wellness Center. It's Weiner's WINER Wellness Center. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you both so much. And thank you everybody for tuning in. We have Erin Carey coming up next at 10 o'clock. And she's going to be talking about reversing her bipolar disorder through healing her gut, which is really
Can't wait to see that one. Looking forward to seeing
That'd
that.
be good. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Love you. Take care.
Love you guys. See ya.